Powering the future of sustainable energy, that is what this channel is about, and that is why we have been in ABTC, ABML as it's also known as, for the last 2 years. This video is a quick update on last week's video. What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back, bye wholesale. Hope of course you are all well. Listen, we did our video last week, we talked about the good and the bad. Share the link to that video. Go ahead and watch it. Some really good, bullish, positive news that we have been craving. News that is pretty much all but guaranteed that ABML will be able to ride out at least the next 12 months. We don't know fully how bad this recession depression is going to be. We're getting a bit of a bounce now in the markets. People are getting excited again to the moon. I think people are starting to say, get a grip. We can see here for ABML from the lows to the highs up 62%. We covered that in the previous video. The last 5 days, a bit of the horn, a bit of the excitement went out of it. We did see nearly 16%, but since that 16%, we have seen a fall 20%. Let's have a look at some of the more recent tweets that have come out since last week. There's been a lovely bit of a buzz around ABML, good bit of positivity. It's been really good to see. The markets have been so horrible, so brutal. It's actually nice to see this little injection of enthusiasm, especially in ABML for us. Then we had on the 26th, a couple of days ago, we had CEO recommend anyone going in and watch that. It's about Brian talking about what the grant means and what ABTC are all about. Very good to see. We had the shareholder meeting on the 27th, Pacific Daylight Time, virtual only. Again, anyone that's in ABML should have watched that, should have got into it. I only caught up with it this morning, and my takeaways were business as usual. A lot of the quiet sort of silence that we've heard, it was good to actually hear the voices, good to hear the vision again. Not that we needed to probably remind it, but it was still very, very good for new people to hear because it had gone a bit quiet. And you click on the link, you can go in and listen to it. It's 53 minutes long, and for the next 53 minutes, you're going to get to hear this all. You're not long-winded, very boring. I hate, and I'm not just talking about ABTC. Earnings calls are dry as sin. The majority, the only ones that aren't really dry are the likes of Elon, because you just never know what he might say. But even then, they're monotone, they're dry. I need a bit of visual. But some snippets worth looking at are the likes of, he's talking about the shortages and all the impacts. This gives you a real idea of where the thing is. 10 minutes, 30-ish in. Listen to that part if you're going to watch it, and listen to any part of it. That's why we're in ABML. So look, the whole thing's good. There was nothing about the UK, unfortunately, selling their shares. And then there is some plant updates, still not open obviously yet, but we can kind of get a bit of guidance there to what the vision is. Things have changed a bit since what they originally said. ABML, ABTC is not the first company to change goals, not to compare ABTC to Elon Musk and Tesla, but Elon Musk is forever setting targets that forever get missed. So it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It never has meant that it's a bad thing, but at least now we're starting to get clarity here what's going on. One thing that I've been quite openly honest about that I've not been happy with is perhaps the engagement. I've got another stock, Argo Blockchain, always about being engaged, loads of media content, loads of interaction with the shareholders. I like that, but then all of a sudden the last 3 weeks they went radio silent. Bit nervous, it's starting to create a bit of fear. So that's the good of doing it when it's good, but when it's bad, people start freaking out a bit. So that's one side of it, and their fundamentals right now are looking a bit sketchy in terms of money to see them through the next 18, 24 months. So you've got that fear. ABML is the opposite. It doesn't really have the great social presence, doesn't really engage too well with shareholders, but out of nowhere, boom, strong fundamentals, confidence that they're going to be able to ride out the recession. So what do you prefer? Ultimately, you prefer a company that is solid. It doesn't really matter how great the smoke and mirrors, if you want to call it that, is. It's all about the fundamentals, and ABML, to their credit, are starting to really start to home in on this is what we're doing, this is what we're about, we're getting the grants. They have clearly been in the background, working hard, building up the relationships with the governments to get the loans. So look, I think they've done phenomenal work here. Very, very happy with them. But again, reached out to them on the 21st, 8 days ago today. Nothing back, asking about how do we buy shares. Now there was a couple of rumors coming out and people in the Discord, there's been a lot of people in the Discord talking about this here, a real active group. I've actually got a load of new members joining from ABML Discord. I put in my charts and all the updates, you get all that within the Discord. But there was Stevie Lee on the comment who said TradeNet may be good, we've started looking into it. The guy set up a trade account, got approved. I started downloading the app. We looked like we were almost going to get there. It went through for him. Everyone was excited. Turns out he's in the Netherlands. So with a wide community of people, but unfortunately the UK members still cannot buy. Now for me, I think I've got a workaround because of where I live. I'm close to down south. Always the way recording, sat down to edit, realized my microphone battery ran out of my friggin', this is the problem with wireless stuff, you rely on batteries. Ironic when all the stocks I cover rely on batteries, but that aside, what I was saying was I have access to down south EU markets because I live in Northern Ireland. It's probably the only perk in living in Northern Ireland, to be honest, but it's good for me. So I'm going to look at maybe exploring that option, but I'm still hopeful that we'll get access to the UK markets. Please, any updates, anyone knows anything different, please leave a comment. You're helping a lot of people out if we can get access here, and it's a huge market the UK has to offer ABML in terms of shareholders. So it's disappointing for the share, it's disappointing for us as well. So everyone can pitch together to try and work out a broker or get some further information. Please let us know in the comments down below. I will do the same. We've covered the charts to death. In the last video I did say chances are we're going to hit our head off the averages and fall down. That is exactly what has played out, and people say TA doesn't mean anything. You need to understand two things here, guys. Institutions trade, investors trade, Cathy Wood trade, even Warren Buffett, who's a dollar cost averaging, currently has a hodl of a serious amount of cash. He's not invested, he's not dollar cost averaging every month, he's waiting for the right time to strike, and that is the confusion. People think trading means you need to be on your phone, on your computer every hour of every day. Nope, you don't. You can trade at the right times, you can trade on certain indicators, you can trade very simple. If you can time your buys and time your sells at different times, at the right time, you can ultimately maximize your profits. I have proven it many times with ABML. Watch the videos. It is ridiculous the amount of actual TA that has been on point. It's actually been a very successful hit rate with ABML, probably more, if I'm being honest, than you would get on average. It's ridiculous. I covered this cup and handle thing. I said this is where we're going to go. I'm going to sell at 0.71. We sold at 0.71. It's fell like a stone. We've been waiting. We've been topping up at all of these levels. Anyone that's dollar cost averaging the whole way down to the bottom, that is 86 days. 86 days is over 12 weeks. If you dollar cost averaged every week, just buying, you would have spent a friggin' fortune, when really the first top up you should have done would have been here and here. You would have done two top ups if you knew how to trade, where people are dollar cost average. I don't keep dollar cost average. It's nonsense. It's not realistic. Anyone who says different just don't know how to trade, and they just think, oh, you just dollar cost average. And the only advantage of dollar cost averaging is you don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go, oh God, I should have sold quicker, or oh, maybe I should have. You don't have to do any of that. You just dollar cost average and throw money in. In the 1929 period, there was a 10-year sideways market, and there has been 3 other occasions where it's just gone nothing. Your money has went from $1 10 years later, where it's sitting at $1. One hell of a gaping. If you don't know how to trade, you're going to not make any money. Look at all of this money that we have made simply trading it. It's not rocket science. You just buy on the buy symbol and you sell on the sell symbol. The sell symbol hasn't even come in yet. It'll probably come in on Monday if we dip. That would be 17% you can make. This one, you buy on this buy symbol, you wait till the sell symbol comes in, you make 12%. And there's more to it than that. I can't make it seem as that easy, but it can honestly be as easy as that. So let's have a look. We talked about it hitting its head off the moving average. That's what's happened, and it's starting to fall down. No great surprise. We can see here, this level of previous support became resistance, but because of the pump that we got, you can see the volume that came in here. When I bought a 0.65 because I thought this was going to be a good support level and we would bounce from that. We didn't. I sold a 0.6. Which proved to be a good move because the trajectory was that was going to go down, and I fully believe we would have seen in and around 0.4, 0.35 range if we hadn't got this pump. This pile of volume was the pump that came in from the news, and rightly so. It has shot us over above this, and I would be very hopeful that this 0.65-ish range will hold up now as new support. It should. But stranger things have happened. The market's very bearish, very nervy. Even if we're getting a short-term pump, I wouldn't get too caught up in it. I think the markets are going to go down. And look at my look ahead video that I did yesterday, and where I talked about the markets. But keep an eye on this. For traders, I'd be looking at 0.65 for a top up. I would do the exact same thing that I did last time and hope that that holds up for push on. If it falls through, you can either sell if you wish or just hold, but it's not a bad top up for you dollar cost average holders. And then I would be waiting for a 0.74 or 0.4-ish range for my next top up. Bullish case is we bounce off this and we push on. Keeping a close eye on it. Obviously, I can't dollar cost average, and I can't really do anything other than sell. I'll not be selling, that's for sure. It's going to be nervy. But look, ABML has fundamentally got a good position going on. So that is a bullish thing. If you want to learn how to do all this trading and all this, look, the trading course is there. Don't take my word for it. Just look at the reviews, look at the members, look at the price. Just look at the freaking steal of it is. You will get value. You haven't had anybody cancel or anybody looking to refund. It's just impossible. So much value, lifetime access to the Discord. Of course, it's actually on discount now for the Christmas period. Get it, and then the price will be going up again in the new year, and you'll never see these prices again. That is the video. Check out the ABML playlist. Approach with caution. Don't get too excited. It's a really tough market, but ABML looks to be in a great position to be able to ride out the hard times with the government backing that it has. So it is a good thing for ABML, but it doesn't necessarily change the general wider market. Always take a step back and look at all the economics right now, guys. That's the safest thing to do. Catch you in the next one.